It's week 3, John. We made it. Another successful week last week. We're here watching Thursday night football. 49ers are looking good, John.
Not too bad. What a crazy week of football we've just been through.
What was your same game parlay that you posted on Instagram today for this one?
Oh, okay. So we're in the midst of the Giants at 49ers now. I've got Christian McCaffrey. I need him over 85 rushing yards.
Unfortunately.
I need... Oh, it's already hit Debo over 55.5
Christian just hit?
And then... No, the Debo one did. And then I need... Christian's got 10 to go. And then Brock Purdy, 2 passing touchdowns. We'll see. He was so close, but they keep throwing flags.
Touchdown. You're gonna hit this parlay 2 weeks in a row, John.
2 weeks in a row, that'd be nice. And I hit 2 parlays, 2 3-leg parlays last week. That was insane.
An animal, John. We're really good at this. I keep saying it, but we are. Can we talk about what we did right last week?
Hey?
Can we talk about what we did right last week? I hit mine. I hit my parlay there with the Bears.
I fell short on Calvin Ridley. I had 5 legs. It just fell short on Calvin Ridley.
Because Christian Kirk, he went off.
Yeah, he went off, but it was like Mike Williams, he hit. Oh shit, I'd have to go back and check. It was a good ticket though. It was a good ticket, and I've got another really good one this week. I'm feeling really good about.
Yeah, I feel like you're on fire. I feel like there's a lot of spice and a little pizzazz in your picks right now. And if I was the audience, I'd be listening to John right now too. I'd be listening to me too.
You, man. You're the one who
like a couple of my picks have just been like the chosen one picks. They're just deep, and hitting hard. I feel good. Like we're on a tear right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did we hit? I hit the Justin Fields.
Oh, that was it. Justin Fields. We were killing. DJ Moore was a great pick.
DJ Moore, Khalil Herbert.
Puka Nacua. Ever heard of that guy?
Puka Nacua. And then what did he also hit? Oh, on Thursday it was DeAndre Swift, wasn't it?
Yeah, Swift was great.
That was the longest rush. He had a game. Yeah. And DeAndre Swift looked so good. And then what else? I mean, I feel like there was a couple others in there that we hit. Anyway, if you listened last week, you made money. There's no doubt. We got a ton of people that were sharing the tickets with us that and really proud of I know, but the parlays, a couple of them are friends too, and they just started betting this year, which is pretty fun. And then now all of a sudden they're looking at us to lift them to the promised land.
And shout out the people who have been requesting content. I saw some comments of people like, "Where's my Thursday night football content? I need to make some bets." And I was like, we need bets.
And we're just like, Jesus, what are we? Just cows getting milked here? Which the answer is yes, we are. And take advantage of it now while it's free.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll have to start a Discord soon. Because
we're gonna have to. We're too good.
It's eating up.
And we're too good. Okay.
Hey, I've got something for you to start the show with.
Yeah.
There are a handful of players who have hit on every single one of their props.
You're going to jinx them by saying it out loud now, John. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why I've got to do this, because when you hear the names, you'll be like, holy shit. At quarterback, Kirk Cousins has hit on every single prop over.
Stud. Even his rushing?
Well, his rushing, I don't really track his rushing because he's not a rushing quarterback. Sometimes they just put it in there for the sake of it. The other two are they're just like one short. Was Mac Jones.
Oof, Mackie boy.
And Matthew Stafford. It's all these guys who you just kind of like, we're so low on as a market.
Yeah.
And then they keep killing it. They're having good seasons when you really think about it.
Hold on. I'm never low on those players, and I always get criticized, especially in our dynasty league that we have.
Yeah.
Like everybody's so gung ho on the younger players, and like anybody who has someone with age and wisdom and is a good football player, people are like, no, throw him away for a ham sandwich. Like give me the young guy that's never caught a football before.
Well, speaking of young guys who have never caught a football before, there's one running back who's hit on all of their props.
Who's that?
Bijan Robinson.
That's the boy.
He's the only one.
Watch him play. He figure skates. He figure skates on a football field.
He's a beautiful athlete to watch play.
He's a gazelle.
I'm excited for him to not make any running back money. I'm not excited. I was being facetious there because running backs don't make money even though they play really well.
He'll break that rule, I think. He's that good.
I think so. And then receptions and receiving yards. Here's a couple of names for you: Josh Reynolds, Nico Collins, Robert Woods, and Tank Dell. So all of the Texans receivers.
You were on, You were on Nico last week. Yeah,
it's been good. Michael Pittman, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, and here's a name you might have heard before: Justin Jefferson.
J-Jets.
Those are the receivers who have hit overs on all of their props so far this season. And then at tight end, there's actually quite a few: Dalton Kincaid, Cole Kmet, Sam Laporta, and Evan Ingram.
And interesting about that, at the beginning of the season, John, you said you have a religious rule that you don't go for rookie tight ends.
Never. Look at me now.
Two of them have hit 100% of their prop totals.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that speaks to the idea that like we're low on them. Like they're going to be introduced slowly into the season, and they haven't. They've been quite involved early on. I mean, we know why for the Lions, it's because they don't have Jameson Williams, so of course they're looking at other players.
Sure. I mean, the emergence of Jahmyr Gibbs coming really quick,
right?
Which we will talk about him in a minute. Why don't you know? Let's dive into this. Let's go. You know what? Can I go first?
Of course.
And how do you want to lay this one out? Do you want to go? You want to each pick a quarterback? You want to each pick a running back?
Yep. I'm just going to stick with my regular formatting.
All right. I like it. Good. Yep. Tried, tested, and true. I'm going back to Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But you know what? You know what I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the rushing total.
Okay. Which way are you going?
Over.
You're going over. Okay. So that's
I don't even know what the total is. You could tell me that the total was 96 and I'd still probably take the over on this one.
It is 60, I can tell you.
Okay. 60 taken.
Bears are matched up against the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been very, very good, especially now that Chris Jones is back as well.
Mm-hmm. Very good inside the tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the tackles. Outside, running for your life. Instinctual football. The writing is on the wall for this one, John. Mm-hmm. It is definitely on the wall. After the criticism in the media, all the attention is on Justin Fields. If he doesn't play the game of his life in this game, he's playing for his job right now.
Yeah.
Bears Nation. Is it Bear? What do they call it? What are the Bear Nation? Is that what it is? Is it
Bear down? Something like that?
No, I think that's the term, but Bear Nation. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they've been really patient with Justin Fields, but however, that patience is starting to wear thin. Mm-hmm. You look at the comment sections on everything that's Chicago, and it's basically a 50-50 divide on if he's the guy or he's not the guy. And I think if this is a sour game, that number is going to go to 70% are against him just because all the media hype about it. And then you think about a player that's in a situation like this, and how has Justin Fields always had his success in pretty much all through like his lower academia into college, and then first year. Is he on year 3 now? He's on year 3 now, isn't he?
Yeah, those boys third year.
Yeah. So in the first 2 years in the NFL, what has been the most successful thing that Justin Fields has done?
It's once they get the rushing going. I mean, think about this time last year. People were dropping him in fantasy football leagues.
Yeah, you traded him away.
I traded him away. People said I was nuts, but it was for this exact reason. If he didn't play well, if the Bears as a team did not play well, he's gone. And I was like, okay, his value's net. I don't think it's going to ever be as high as it is now. And I did. Right. And people said I was nuts.
No, you weren't. I respect that. However, today, like this week 3, Justin Fields will run for more than 60 yards. Book it.
I like that one. If we have a look at the Chiefs as well, so their first week matchup against the Detroit Lions, obviously you're not really going to see too much from rushing quarterbacks out of Jared Goff. And then Trevor Lawrence actually did happen to break off a couple of nice rushes against them as well there. So, yeah, I think that because of Justin Fields, I'm just going to quickly flick to him now. He did get 60 week 1, and then he fell short last week against the Bucs. He kind of got great game scripted out of that.
He did. They wanted him to throw from the pocket, and I knew that was coming. That's why I said every receiver take the over, because I knew that they were going to stick him back there, let him throw the football. They wanted to see what they had, and I think that this is the trial. It's a trial experiment right now, where at the beginning of the season they're trying to make a decision. The Bears are if they're going to gonna throw the season, which you can't say that any team throws the season, but if they're going to invest to future considerations for quarterback, or if they're very confident in Justin Fields for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna need an extension coming soon for him. So this is it. This is it for him. And give me that rushing total, man.
All right, that's a nice one. I'm happy with that. And the last thing I was going to say on that is he's probably at the point where he's starting to actually play for his job as well. Yep. Oh yeah. 3 designed rushes last week, 2 designed rushes in week 1. They've got to change that. And I think that's what Justin Fields was alluding to when he said coaching is part of the problem. Is they're not letting him do his thing.
Let the big dog eat.
Yeah.
All
right, man. I'm going to give you a couple of quarterback names here. I'm going to probably end up going with the one I want anyway, but you tell me if anything piques your interest in Dak Prescott, Tua, Fields, we've already done, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield, and Deshaun Watson.
Oh, John, again, these are so ugly.
That's where we make money.
I know, it's just scummy. No, it's, you know what? I think and I know I don't even want to say this. I think Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I'll do 2 then, because I wanted to say Baker Mayfield.
I know, that's even more gross.
Because I'm a fucking sicko.
Yeah.
All right, I'm really interested in this matchup on Sunday, is it, or Sunday night, between the Titans and the Browns. The Browns have been an absolute shutdown team. If you have a look, actually, I'll bring it up now. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe to this. But also, we're going to have a look at how the Cleveland Browns have fared against. These are the quarterbacks, so they've held most quarterbacks to under props. We also have a look at, and of course, it was Kenny Pickett, and they weren't too high last week. Running backs, they have shut down, but we'll see how they fare against Derrick Henry this week. Could be interesting. And then the receiving options as well. I'm not actually looking at the Titans' receiving options, so let's jump to the Titans now, because this is what I call the most beautiful thing to look at in my spreadsheet. Quarterbacks are completely consistent in overs. Running backs are completely consistent in unders. Receiving options are completely consistent. This is the receiver 1, receiver 2, receiver 3. So last week,
paints a good picture. It paints a really good picture of how that team's functioning.
Exactly. So great run defense, terrible passing defense. So obviously the Chargers had a really good go at it last weekend. And then week 1, I'm trying to think, they played the Saints, didn't they? And the Saints threw all over them as well. So
yeah, Derek Carr just lit them up.
And look at these quarterbacks. So as well. So obviously it's Justin Herbert who had a really good game, but Derek Carr, he got over 250 as well. So there's a lot of opportunity here. So I'm not looking at Deshaun Watson for passing because he's been so bad, but Amari Cooper, and you could even sway me with maybe like Elijah Moore or something like that. I'm looking at these 2 options here for overs. I think that they're probably going to sit about 70 there for Amari Cooper. If we actually, I'll just
what about reception totals for those players?
And then reception totals as well. Yeah, let's bring up the Browns. But Elijah Moore has been quite undervalued, so he could have a little bit of value here. He's quite low at 3.5.
Oh, he's at 3.5 receptions.
So if you could get 4, it could be something there. Donovan Peoples-Jones has not gone over yet. Even tight end David Njoku I kind of like for this as well. So those are some receiving options, actually. So that's not even looking at Deshaun Watson. But if I could I'll just go back to Baker Mayfield real quick here. Looking at the Eagles. So they're having a bit of a hard time, this defense at the moment. Similar to the Titans, receivers are getting their overs, and quarterbacks are getting their overs as well. 230 and 265 has gone up, but that was against Mac Jones week 1. And then last week against the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, we know, has been playing really well. But I think that this bodes really well for Baker Mayfield, who is also, I hate to say it, he's kind of balling out a little bit at the moment.
He is. It's a little bit of a resurgence here, and I think it's because less spotlight. Let him just play good football.
I also think, man, you know what? Mike Evans has been looking really good. He's got Chris Godwin. I think it's fair to say that these are the best receiving options he's really ever played with, and they're playing pretty well.
Hold on, you can't. When Beckham and Jarvis Landry were playing with him,
yeah,
how was that not the best? Like those two.
So are we sure? Are we sure that Beckham was good then?
Yeah, I'm sure that he was good.
He was good on the Rams in the back half of the season when they won the Super Bowl. And Landry, he was getting on.
Yeah, he just catches everything, you know?
Yeah.
Shame he's not on the team right now. Okay, you know what? Mike Evans, Mr. Consistent, hasn't had a season underneath 1,000 receiving yards yet.
Yeah. I think he's on track for 1,000 again.
And definitely 100% he's hitting 1,000 again. And that's one that I wouldn't have felt confident taking at the beginning of the year if we were doing some future consideration. But Godwin, Chris Godwin, a seam monster. Like in the middle of the field, Chris Godwin dominates. Yeah, he looks like a basketball player out there.
Yep.
I think in that game, they're gonna have to trusty, reliable, sure hands in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go Godwin there. I would. What's his yardage and what's his receptions? His receptions are probably gonna be 6, aren't they?
Yeah, this is the Monday night game. I'm guessing it's going to be about 5.5.
Yeah, that's scary.
And 60.5, I want to say.
I like 60.5.
Yeah, I like these Eagles cornerbacks. They're getting beat, and I don't mind the Bucs. And in this same game, while we're talking about it, may as well bring it up now. I want to talk about Devonta Smith as my lock of the week.
Oh, lock of the week. We need a sound bite that just goes like.
Yeah, I'm working on my silent sound bites at the moment.
I like it
to come through. Devonta Smith, I think that this is a really good opportunity for him. Last week, he smashed against the Vikings. I'm not going to go with any reception totals for him because he's getting a lot of yardage at the moment. So if we can get 65.5, I wouldn't mind betting over because the Bucs have been beatable. We went with DJ Moore last week. Mm-hmm. That hit. I think that we can attack the Bucs secondary again with Devonta Smith on Monday night. Over 65.5 receiving yards.
He's the only one. We said before the show, I said, John, like what's, you were like, I got a lock. It's in the Philly game. I said, is it Devonta Smith? And you went,
yeah,
it is Devonta Smith. And I said, that is literally the only player that I would take in that game.
Mm.
And you kind of convinced me with and I just thought about Chris Godwin and how he's a monster. And I mean, it's not an actual pick of mine, Chris Godwin, but I second your Devonta Smith pick.
Shootout potential. I mean, look, the over-under is only 45.5 at the moment. Eagles are getting 4.5. But I think that the Bucs are getting constantly disrespected here. So I think that there's going to be a bit of back and forth in this game.
It's tough to think of the Bucs winning that game.
Yeah.
But I do think it'll stay close.
Is that the 2-0 Bucs you're talking about?
Yeah, definitely the 2-0 Bucs that I'm talking about. The whole NFL season's upside down right now, John.
Yeah, I know.
It's a weird. Anybody that's trying to take winners and losers right now, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for them. I stay right away from it. That's
why we don't usually bet them. I did in the 49ers game at the moment. I did tease San Francisco down to 6.5 as part of a cheeky little extra.
Yeah, that's that. Oh yeah, I saw that on your pick. Where are they?
I wouldn't recommend that, but I thought that the line movement was so good.
Where are they right now in this game? It's
they're up by 11. There's 10 minutes to go in the final quarter. Debo just ripped off another huge run.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, now he's down. Oh no, he's hurt.
Debo's down.
Yeah. Do you want to go next with the running back, or do you want me to shoot through?
We were talking at the beginning of the show about a young stud by the name.
Oh yeah.
The Gazelle, Bijan Robinson. He looks so damn good out there.
Yeah.
And I like in that game, Atlanta's playing Detroit. I like both sides of the ball for the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, which one's going to hit? And what props are going to hit? I feel like Bijan's going to be close to hitting on all of them. There was something inside me that really said that the receiving total is going to hit.
Yeah. He's been utilized a lot. Didn't he have like 6 catches in the first game receiving?
Yeah, he did. And then last game, it took towards the very end of the game for him to hit his totals.
Right.
But there's something deeper in that receiving. Like my brain it's just doing this thing where it's telling me the total might be a little inflated, but what isn't inflated is the longest reception.
Okay.
I don't know what the number is, but I think it's somewhere around 12 or 13. The last I checked. I'm going to look it up right now. Longest reception, Bijan Robinson, 12.5, over.
That's it, 12.5 for the longest reception. That's not bad. Let's have a look at how he's been doing. Week 2 against Green Bay was a nice game that they managed to put together, the Falcons. It sort of feels like it's coming at the expense of Kyle Pitts and Drake London to an extent, which I don't like to see. My fantasy teams are hurting because of that. I'm just having a look at what his longest reception was last week. Was 19 yards. Oh, no, so that was rushing. Longest reception was 5 yards. Okay.
It was small. It was short, but they just kept dumping it off, and I don't think that's going to be the case this time.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. I like the matchup against Detroit on the outsides. I think the rushing totals are going to be pretty safe, but I think Dan Campbell is going to prepare his team to clog the middle. I would be very shocked if they weren't coming out with a slightly heavier personnel and often leaving one safety back and stacking the box. I think it's going to happen. All Atlanta's tried to do all season long is steamroll their opponents, and Dan Campbell is very good at fighting against what the other team is trying to do. And that's why I think the Lions are going to do really well this year. It's just really good coaching. So if they're doing that, they're going to need to find ways to get their superstars open. And Bijan Robinson will be the beneficiary of that. It also leads me to want Desmond Ritter's rushing total over, or his longest rush, which I think is like eight or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that Bijan's gonna catch one out in the flat, and it'll be a quick bust for just over a first down.
Yeah.
And I could see it happening. 12.5 over. It feels a little risky to me, but at the same time, I'm feeling it, you know?
Feeling it in your gut. It's funny that you mentioned that. As you were mentioning that, I was looking at like little props that I'd marked in yellow here for what I want to look out for. And Bijan receptions is actually one that I had. So I'm excited for that one.
It's probably going to come out at 5. Because he hit 6 the first game and then 4 the second game. And they're just going to, until they get a good read on Bijan, they're just going to play the law averages. So my guess is it's going to be somewhere around 5. And that's a little hairy for me.
Yep.
Any running back.
I think that sounds good. Couple of running back options that I'm looking at here, some that I want to name off. I do have Tony Pollard down. One of his might be a bit too high against the Cardinals this weekend. They're going to Travis Etienne as well. In the first 2 games, he's had 74% of running back rushes and 87% last week of backfield touches. So he's someone that I'm looking at in rushing. I know he didn't hit any of his props last week. Any overs last week against the Chiefs.
Do you think they're going to get up in the game?
The Cowboys against the Cardinals.
Yeah, do you think they're going to get up?
Hell yeah,
Cardinals. Dobbs has been playing out of this world.
He's been not too bad, but we got to remember the Giants are a bit of an enigma at the moment.
A dumpster fire,
as we can see right now. Hey, they've got 12 points. I'll give them that. So Jags have a really nice, tasty matchup against Houston this week, who running backs are usually able to have a bit of success on as well. So I'm looking at Travis Etienne, but the one that I want to go to this week, I'm tossing up between 2. I'm tossing up between tall over rushing, makes me a little bit nervous, but also I'm looking at Miles Sanders going to Seattle to play the Seahawks.
That's a tough one. I don't think I'd dance with that.
No, the thing about Miles Sanders here is he was not very productive last week, and Chuba Hubbard has been used a lot in the passing game. Actually, no, I'm off this one because it just got mentioned that Bryce Young is out and Andy Dalton's going to play.
Oh God.
Let's
as a Bengals fan. Sorry, I got one more for the running backs.
Yeah, okay, go.
I would be confident taking both running backs for Washington.
Yeah, really, Antonio Gibson. That makes me too nervous. No way.
I would take Brian Robinson over 10 and Antonio Gibson has been averaging around 12, 13. What did Gibson get for his receiving totals, John, this past week?
He hit on his reception, so he hit 2.5 and 15.5 receiving yards.
How many? 15.5 he had?
Yeah, he hit
on. He was that. Yeah, he hit on it.
But if you actually look at that play, that was against the Broncos. He kind of he got it out in space, and then there was just really good downfield blocking. He kind of just eluded every single Denver Bronco. So he actually got that 15.5 in one catch.
Yeah. He had three receptions, but they're going to try and get him the ball in this game. I think they're not going to have a choice. I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think the running backs are going to have to be very involved in this game. And so I would be confident taking both of them.
I like Bijan Robinson. He's been very good, especially in rushing attempts.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if those attempts are going to be there this game against Buffalo.
Yeah, it gets out of hand.
I don't think it's going to get out of hand. I just think it's going to go tit for tat.
Okay.
I think the game is going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And yeah, I don't think that's a game that Washington wants to play with Buffalo, but I think it'll end up there. Yeah.
Sorry, Brock Purdy just got a second passing
touchdown.
There
you got it, brother.
I want to get to my official rushing prop now.
Yep.
I'm looking to attack this New England Patriots rushing defense. This makes me nervous because the Jets are going to... Actually, I think this game is in New York, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's in New York. Look, here's the thing. I think that the Jets are going to be relying heaps on Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. I don't think you can rely on Zach Wilson in this game because Belichick has got his number big time. He's got some of the worst numbers you'll see in football. I understand that Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook both were not really utilized last week. It was a weird game script. It was a weird matchup. We just saw Raheem Mostert and the Dolphins run all over this defense. And in week one, this was not DeAndre Swift with Philly. This was not Boston Scott. Who's the third?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Ran all over them.
R.I.P. as RB1.
Exactly. I'm very keen on Breece Hall in this spot. He's been looking pretty low. I think they've been easing him back. It was, again, like I said, wasn't a good game script last week, but we've seen a few flashes of hope. We got to kind of throw out week one because it was such a weird circumstances with Aaron Rodgers going down straight away. But I think that there's a bit of value to be had while these numbers are so low. If you're getting 40, 45.5, with Dalvin Cook, if you're getting sort of in that 35-40 range, those are nice low numbers. I think they're going to rely on both of them to run the ball.
So you don't think that the entire game that Bill Belichick is going to send an extra guy?
Look, it's...
If I was Bill Belichick, I'd be sending an extra guy.
Yeah, look, here's what does make me more nervous about it than anything else is the Jets' offensive line has not been very good. It's been very unkind on Zach Wilson.
They're going to send another linebacker and on every single play.
Yeah, they've got to move the ball somehow, and I think that they're going to be able to do it in this game.
Screens.
I would not be surprised.
Where's my phone?
Even if it was a little backwards game. Okay, so this game opened at New England -3. It's being bet down now to New England -2.5.
Ooh,
there's money coming in on the Jets, man.
I don't know who's doing that.
Look at this over under 36.5. That's disgusting. That'd be embarrassing if it was preseason.
I feel like I'd probably take it at under 28.
Yeah,
it's going to be not bad.
Too many points to be had.
I don't think so. But I the screen game though. I like the screen game in that for the Jets. It's too much of a stinker of a game for me to even put any money on it. But Breece Hall's receiving totals I'd probably take.
New York on Sunday is going to be 19 degrees and raining. There'll be a fair bit of rain as well, which again I think bodes well for the run game. Man, this is going to be an ugly game. I'm on it.
Ugly. You love it. No, you don't love that type of football.
I'm going Breece Hall over 40.5 rushing yards.
Book it.
All right, let's jump to some receivers now.
Okay.
I had Christian McCaffrey over 80.5.
Oh, you got him. Okay, so no more running.
The last leg I need is the Niners to win by 6.5.
Yeah, you got that. All right, wide receiver time. Let's do this.
Do you want to kick us off?
No, I don't. I'm like I'm in the middle on a few things here, so I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna let the ideas percolate here.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? I'm going. I'm going. I'm cutting you off. I'm disregarding everything we just said.
I was like, okay, I'll go. No, you're not going to go.
No, nice and easy. I'm going to go Zay Flowers, 4 receptions.
Nice. He's on my card as well.
Yep. I would also take, I don't know what his receiving total is. It's 40 something probably.
It'll be around 40. It was 45.5 last week, and he hit over. It was also 4.5 catches, though, and he had exactly 4.
Yeah, so I think it'll probably be 4. If you can get it at 4. Zay Flowers, 4 receptions. And Zay Flowers over 40-something yards. Whatever.
45.5?
45.5. Over 45.5.
Ravens got a nice little matchup this week against the Indianapolis Colts, who have honestly not been too difficult. Their stats probably more impressive than they look because, I mean, week 1, they played the Jags and they got completely beat out there. But then last week they played the Texans. They played CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had seriously one of the best passing games in Ohio State quarterback football history. So, yeah, this is a nice spot for Lamar Jackson and co.
Oh, big time. Big time. I think they're going to throw a ton on him. Take the whole team on his shoulders. I wish OBJ, we knew what was going on with OBJ, because it'd be, if he was playing, if we knew he was playing, then it would be a good spot for that like redemption OBJ reception total.
Right. You might actually get some good numbers on OBJ as well, because he's been very up and down in his prop lines.
That's what I mean. Like, it would be a good buy-in moment, and then get the hell out and don't do it again all season.
This is a great spot. In fact, he's been under on everything so far this season. So, yeah, if you can, I think this is the overs game if he plays. Zay Flowers over, I really like. Is Mark Andrews going to play? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Running backs are banged up there. I don't even think they're going to use them. Like, I think just throw the ball against this Indianapolis team, and you will win.
So I'll name a couple. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Flowers, we just talked about. He was on my card. DJ Moore, Courtland Sutton, Mike Evans, we already talked about. Devonta Smith, we already talked about. And Amari Cooper, we actually already talked about as well. So here's
surprised you don't have Calvin Ridley again. I'm really surprised you don't have Calvin Ridley again.
I want to go back to him. I do. I'm just I kind of want to like look other places as well and give a couple more ideas and options for people rather than just because it is you. Eventually, as the season goes on, you do get into that habit of just going back to the same guys that you love that have won you money.
When they have a good matchup, you know, and if you follow them, I'm that way with hockey with shot totals. I wait for that matchup, and I've got the guys that I like going to, and I'm like, this is a good matchup where they are going to hit their over total, and you start to know their performance based off who they're playing. It's not a bad tactic for betting to really study a player and know when you think he's going to get those opportunities and when he won't.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Amon-Ra St. Brown, because the Falcons have actually done a very, very good job so far this season of shutting down wide receiver ones on teams. Amon-Ra also, he's still at 7.5 catches, so we're expecting him to get 8 catches, or the books are, if you want to bet the over. We said week 1 on the show kickoff of NFL Kickoff, I was on Amon-Ra unders for that game, and that went pretty well. Now I'm particularly on it because people still feel like he is the guy, and he has been playing well. But these Falcons, I think, who's going to be on him? Is it AJ Terrell, or is it one of the other guys?
It'll be Terrell. It'll be Terrell.
AJ Terrell's been playing really well. So this is the receiver ones. And that was against Jordan Love. I know that Jordan Love hasn't had like a locked and loaded, like we didn't see Christian Watson in that game. And then week 1, they played Carolina and the Panthers. But I think that this might bode well for, like, they have actually been able to put a fair semblance of a team together. So I'm kind of thinking about Amon-Ra unders. The other unders I'm thinking about is DJ Moore. And I'm saying that because I really think Justin Fields is going to struggle against the Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs defense is playing really, really well. I think they're probably one of the top defenses in the league at the moment. So he is coming off a really good game against the Bucs. If he's got a really high line around like 60, I wouldn't mind betting under that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Amari Cooper, I talked about. Lots of teams have been able to throw on the Titans. They have not been very good. Devonta Smith, we talked about. I like the overs because the Bucks corners have not been as good, and this has a bit of shootout potential in my mind for it. Same with Mike Evans. I've got overs here. And then the last one for receivers is Courtland Sutton.
It's a weird one. I wasn't expecting you to call that name.
I need to know why I've written down Courtland Sutton. Let me just check my notes.
Was it Courtland Sutton? Don't look at this guy.
No, it's Courtland Sutton overs, and it's because their Denver Broncos are playing the Miami Dolphins. Okay. And the Miami Dolphins have had a bit of a hard time at the moment stopping receivers. We just saw what Mac Jones was able to do to them over the weekend. Like a few Patriots receivers got involved there. Week 1, they played the Chargers. They didn't really stand a chance. So the receiver one has had a fair bit of success here. Russell Wilson, for all of how bad Denver has been, has actually been playing not too bad.
No, he's been putting the deep ball down there, and Courtland Sutton over Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, and so I know it seems weird, but it seems at the moment that Courtland Sutton is actually Russell Wilson's go-to guy at the moment. Russ is averaging 2 passing touchdowns a game. Lots of attempts are going his way, and he had a good shootout with Washington over the weekend. Just going to flick here to Courtland Sutton, who, I know it's Jerry Jeudy's first game back. He still might be a little bit injured. We haven't had much success outside of Courtland Sutton here, so I've got a feeling about him this weekend. Having said that, every time I've had a feeling about Courtland Sutton, he's let me down. So it's ugly. There's plenty of other good options I've given you that are probably safer to bet, but there might be something there.
You know what's going to happen, though. You know what's going to happen here.
Over under is 48. It's going up as well.
Someone's going to want to put $10 on a bet, John, and they're going to want to win $7,000. Yeah. And they're going to listen to every pick we just made, and then they're going to attack Courtland Sutton on the end.
Yeah,
and that's going to fail. And you're going to go, I told you I wasn't even very confident in Courtland Sutton. And someone's going to be like, you cost me $7,000. Which
that was made last weekend, literally with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. I know. For the record, John, I don't support Courtland Sutton there.
I'm absolutely fine with that. I understand. I respect it. I've also got a few good tight end options here as well. I don't know about you. Did you have any final picks that you wanted to lay out?
No, not really. I that pretty much swallowed up my card. If I had to pick a tight end, I think Njoku is extremely undervalued right now.
Yeah, I really like David Njoku in this spot against the Titans.
I know it sounds crazy to go back to Luke Musgrave, but I think his receiving totals would probably be at like 23 or something. So I'd probably, or his longest reception would probably be somewhere around like 13 or 14. So I'd probably go there, but I don't think I'm going to take a tight end in this entire card.
Okay, I'll give you one. I'm quite on TJ Hockenson in this spot. So the Chargers are playing Minnesota. I believe it is in Minnesota as well. Yes, and both teams are 0-2. We know what happens to teams that are 0-3. They basically have something like a 5 to 10% chance of making the playoffs. So it gets ugly from there. Both teams need to win. Like, can you imagine what's going to happen to Brandon Staley if the Chargers lose this game?
Oh, and they've what? So no turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the most points for.
Yeah.
The most points for a team that does not have a win.
Yeah, for turnover differential. I can never say that word.
So, like, how does that even happen? That's an anomaly. This team is a lot better than that 0-2 record says.
They just play to lose. I'm looking at the Chargers here as well. They've given it up to the tight end as well. So it's not really a position that they're looking to protect. I mean, last week, of course, like who is the Titans' tight end? It's Chiga Konkru. He has sort of been
first play of the game. They targeted. Yeah,
Durham Smythe was the Dolphins' tight end, and Mike McDaniel has had a really good go at getting all of his players involved in space and scheming up some really nice routes for them. But I don't know. I've got a good feeling about TJ Hockenson against the Chargers. This is going to be an absolute shootout. Both teams need to win. Both defenses are not that great.
Would you look a little bit deeper in this game to the third receiving options on both teams? Like, would you look at Addison? And
Addison's the 2, man. KJ Osborne is definitely the 3.
I know. I mean,
or TJ Hockenson. Yeah, I'd go Addison overs. Yeah. I'd go Hockenson overs. Justin Jefferson, I'm not going to bet over. Last week was my one time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and it hit.
And then what about the other side of the ball?
And then on the other side of the ball,
would you go with Everett and Palmer? Would you look for some value there just because you think it's going to be a shootout?
Yeah, Gerald Everett. I don't mind that if it's over 30. Quentin Johnson, QJ, he has not been involved at all. Do not bet on him over anywhere. Josh Palmer, that's a tricky one. Maybe. I think there's going to be a big Keenan Allen, Mike Williams game.
Yeah, there's something that feels like Keenan Allen's reception total is, even though it's probably at 7, it's still probably playable. Yeah, but it's still too high for me to want to play it. Yeah, the only player in the entire league that I'd be okay with taking 7 there is Puka Nacua right now. Is he gonna get 12 again this week?
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't.
Just gonna run him into the ground.
Taking it. I know I'm not taking it this week, but really, like the amount that a quarterback looks at a receiver, that's I don't know. Justin Jefferson's total is probably what, 9?
It'll be something like 95 receiving yards
for 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8 or 9 catches. It's just.
And why would you bet on that? Why would you bet on that?
Because it'll hit potentially.
Just people just get really horny.
Yeah,
they want to bet on the superstar.
Yeah,
they want to bet on the superstar, but no, I wouldn't. Jordan Addison, though. Wait, Jordan Addison? Yes.
Yep.
Jordan Addison. 3 catches, maybe 4 catches.
I'd be fine with 4.
I'd be fine with 4. I'd be happy with that. If somebody said I had to bet on that game, that's probably what I would take.
I'm looking at a few good. Yeah, there's lots of really good options in that game, particularly with Austin Eckler out. I think Josh Kelly will bounce back as well. He had a bad game last week, so I think his
lines. What about Cam Akers?
Cam Akers, he's not going to play, I believe.
I don't know. I wouldn't take him either. But there would probably be something there if it was a really crappy line. Like if it was the receiving total was like 6 and he played.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right. Let's recap a couple of these picks. So we've got Justin Fields over rushing.
Let's do it.
Baker Mayfield over passing. Bijan over 12.5 longest catch.
Yeah, baby.
Breece Hall over 40.5 is there as well. Zay Flowers over receiving. Devonta Smith over receiving. TJ Hockenson.
Zay Flowers 4 receptions too. Don't forget that.
4 receptions as well. If you want our unders, we don't like cheering for unders too often, but they were in the show as well, which I'll go through and timestamp as well. But man, I think that's a really nice card that we put together.
Yeah, we got a good card.
Yeah,
that's a big parlay if you juice all those together.
Hell yeah, man. And I've got to go pop some champagne because this 49ers game is over and
you did it.
Yeah,
you did it. I'm so
4
proud
legs.
of you.
Yeah.
So proud of you.
Like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, there you go. Like and subscribe. That was a big, bold parlay call too. I like it.
Christian McCaffrey, 80 rushing yards. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, it made me a little nervous too. Did he get one more rush
now as well? Lucky I didn't get that 85 because that 85 is stuck there.
Is it stuck? So he got the under on the rushing attempts.
Yeah.
Hey, would you look at that, John?
Yeah.
What a good call.
Good call, man.
Thanks.
18 rushes, 85 rushing yards. We both won. We both did it.
We both did it. All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the slate. Enjoy football.
Peace, like and subscribe. California. Let's go.
All right. Let's go, bud. Thanks.
Cheers.